Hey guys, Joe Madden here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. I am joined by a great guest this afternoon, Ashley, the host of Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls on YouTube. Ashley, how's the afternoon been treating you?
Everything's good, Joe. How about you? Everything well up there?
Yeah, everything's great. We got the sun shining here. We've got games starting. I'm excited to talk some NBA with you. Before we get into that, let's hear where we can find you on socials and let's hear about this show that you have on YouTube.
Yeah, so 305 Sports Babe. Find me on Twitter. I also have my own website, www.305sportsbabe.com. Really focused on travel to Miami, meaning not only just Dolphin fans who come to our own home games, but anybody who's traveling to Miami, what hotels to stay at, what to do, airports to fly into. So a whole website dedicated to just everything Miami. And then I have my own show, Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls on YouTube, heavily focused on South Florida sports. So, of course, that's your Heat and your Panthers right now. And then all the news with the Dolphins off season, going into this season, and then our struggling, not so struggling Marlins. So, definitely keeps me busy.
Oh, I bet it does. When does that air and what time can people catch it?
I really don't have a set schedule because here's
Okay.
the thing. Like, if I was to say Wednesday at 7 o'clock with the Heat games going and Marlins games, so honestly, and I even had an episode this morning at 8. So, kind of just going with the flow whenever my special guest could come on. So, no real rhyme and reason to it, but always find a new episode on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys go on over, subscribe to her YouTube so you don't miss out. You'll get the notifications that way for sure. Ashley, I can't wait to check out the show. I've heard
Thank
great
you.
things about it, and I'm excited to have you here. Really appreciate your time this afternoon. I
Honored to
know
be
you.
here.
I know you love the Heat. Let's talk about the Heat. What are you thinking right now for them? They're up 2-1 in this series.
So, yeah, last game kind of like threw everything off, right? It was the most emotional game for all us Heat fans. We go into the game, we're taking a big lead going into the first half. And then second half with the injuries of Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero, it was just deflating because obviously there's a lot of injuries on the Celtics, but they went into the locker room, they came back like they had the miracle shot and they came back almost stronger. And with us, it was great that Bam Adebayo had like the best game possibly of his life, but moving forward, we definitely do need a healthy Jimmy Butler. You can't replace him. And Tyler, of course, is our sixth man. So it's important that we get him back and healthy. But going into this game, mixed emotions.
Okay.
I'm I'm not feeling too good about, Celtics obviously having one more at home before they bring it back to Miami. So I think this one's going to be a big run for our money tonight.
Okay. It's definitely going to be a good game here. What are your thoughts on Hero being out?
I would rather Hero be out than Butler, even though everyone has their importance on my team. Hero's had games where he's dropped 20 plus points, and then he's had playoff games where he's dropping 4 to 6 points. So, granted, the momentum definitely is high when he comes in, but if he's going to get hurt, like let it happen now as opposed to a crucial game 7. So, if tonight's the day where he has to just recover, let it happen now before we get deeper in the series and hopefully look into the finals.
Absolutely. Hoping you guys make it into the finals as well. We're definitely going to have you back on when they do. Who do you think that they face?
It's going to be Golden State. I mean, Steph's hotter than ever. Draymond Green. And then you don't.
I th- I think I've lost your sound there, Ashley. You're muted for a second. You guys just bear with us. We have lost Ashley for just a second here. We will get her back on as soon as possible. We're talking NBA here. We're talking tonight's game between the Heat and the Boston Celtics. Ashley, if you need to, you can remove yourself. And what we'll do is we'll bring you back into the studio. Your camera is off at the moment, so we cannot see you. It might be best to try removing yourself from the stream. There we go, you guys. We'll get her back on, and let me just take this overlay off so I can talk to you guys. I'm going to get Ashley to come right back on here and talk this game over with us. There she is.
Sorry about that.
That is okay. Not a problem at all. It happens, those buttons.
So the West, yeah. So it's gonna be Golden State, right? If you would ask me this question a few weeks ago, I would have told you the Suns. I was very confident in the Suns. Anybody would have been like, look at the
Yeah.
season they just came off of. But seeing how Golden State, has dominated, but the Mavs don't count them out. It might go to a game 6, but it's gonna be Golden State. So definitely at this point, Golden State, Miami.
Now, do you think the Heat can beat Golden State?
Absolutely. I think as a whole, I think the East is stronger than the West. I mean, you compare teams like the Sixers and obviously the Heat, the Celtics, and obviously Giannis over there compared to the West. I think there's bigger names in the East, and I think we put it more together. So I think the Heat could beat Golden State. I would have been a little more concerned playing the Suns, but I think at this point, as long as the stars align, we stay healthy. Kyle Lowry stays strong, and Bam continues to play with the momentum he has. I think that you may be looking at the 2022 NBA champions. I love the sound of that. My gosh, I need to start speaking into my destiny, but it's looking better and better.
Absolutely. Just manifest the heck out of that. I like it as well. How did you become a Miami Heat fan? I know you live in the area, but what was it about the Heat that you liked?
Yeah, so actually, I'm born and raised up north, not so much Canada, but New Jersey. So I grew up a huge New Jersey Nets fan. That team growing up in my, from 7 to 12 years old was everything, and actually made me fall in love with the game. And then it was around the time that the Nets actually moved to Brooklyn and I actually moved down to Miami that it was just a mutual divorce, right? It was like, all right, you guys are moving, I'm moving, new start for everybody. And I came down here in 2008 and totally fell in love with the Heat. And then as the team progressed with the whole thing with LeBron, it grew on me. And now I'm obsessed, completely diehard. And but I do have still love for the Nets, right? Especially when they were the old school jerseys, it brings me back to my childhood, especially Jason Kidd. And I respect him coaching and everything, but I am truly the epitome of a diehard Heat fan.
I love it. Any superstitions when you watch these games, Ashley?
So my boyfriend and I are both diehard fans. So it's never like, oh, babe, let's talk about how was your day? Or what are we going to do this weekend? It is strictly a horse with blinders. But superstitions, no, I'm going to change my shirt before the game to wear the white out. So it's always the white out for the games. And no, nothing. I don't want to say anything and watch it happen, but it's definitely just truly focus on the game and hope for the best.
I love it. That is fantastic. Well, I wish the Heat all the best tonight. I do think they have a phenomenal game in this one. Any thoughts if you think it's going to be a higher scoring game? The books have moved this line down all the way to 205.5 for the total of this. Do you think these teams combine for over that?
I think so. I think this is going to be last game, Boston was real cold in the paint and out of the paint first half. I think they're going to really pick up their game this game, and I think you're going to be looking at a high-scoring game on both sides. I really think so, especially if Bam puts up those numbers like he did last game. You're going to be looking at a lot of points on the game.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. One thing I was talking about with a previous guest, you guys, was for this one to go to overtime, plus 1,500. Any thoughts on them going to overtime in this one?
My anxiety can't handle that overtime.
Okay, for Ashley, let's hope it doesn't hit it.
But it's possible. The matchup on paper, it's an even matchup with us and the Boston. So I wouldn't be surprised. I just hope that, it doesn't go overtime. But it's very possible with this series. This is the toughest series we're facing, and it's a bloodbath. And overtime, what happened, just not good for my anxiety.
Well, if it goes to overtime, everyone pray for Ashley and her anxiety.
So true.
For sure. We will be thinking of you. Ashley, do you want to remind everyone where to find you on socials, where to follow your show as well?
Definitely. Yeah. 305 Sports Babe. You can find me on Twitter. And then my show, Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls, everything South Florida sports, especially now heavy with the Heat and the Panthers and their playoff journeys. And then my website, www.305sportsbabe.com. Everything traveling to Miami, from hotels, restaurants, things to do, where to stay, and what us locals like to do. So you're enjoying what we enjoy on a daily basis.
Oh, I love it. Well, Ashley, we are going to have you back on. I know we have lots to talk about those Miami Dolphins as well. I want to have you on, talk the schedule, what you're thinking for the upcoming season, and everything that you want to promote with all the organizations you're working with. So was there anything else you wanted to plug here for people to follow before we leave?
Yeah, we just have a lot of Dolphin fan clubs down here. So we have a big event coming on Saturday. Anybody in the Southwest Florida area, the Southwest Dolphins fan club is having a huge beach bash on Saturday, May 21st, or May 28th. That was last week. Everyone's invited. It's in Sanibel Island, Fort Myers Beach. So anybody in the area, Dolphins fan, sports fan, more than welcome to come out starting at 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, I wish I could make it down there. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Nothing like a party on the beach. Well, yeah. Ashley, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Enjoy this game tonight. You guys, I will be back tomorrow with another Joe Madden Sports podcast. We'll definitely be having Ashley back soon. So go over to her channel, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of her shows coming out as well. Thank you.